first I would like to know about the story, how you end up here in Bali and doing things like you do now. What is your motivation, or have you find something, or maybe I get something in my past, so I have to go move to the Bali like that.
Yeah, thank you. I moved to Bali about 3 months ago, and I first came to Bali 2 years ago, and I came here on a yoga teacher training. And I'd been hearing a lot about Bali for many, many years, about the island and the surf mostly. And I came here to explore, but mostly to study yoga. And I fell in love with the island, but also I was on a small island called Gili Meno, which is actually also closer to Lombok. And I had a really great experience. I loved the weather, the people, the food, how easygoing and laid back the lifestyle was. And so I came back again last year and spent a little bit more time here. So I spent 2 months here last year, and I loved, again, exploring other areas. I spent some more time here in Canggu, which is where I now live. And so I decided that, you know, maybe it would be a great idea to move here. So here I am.
Okay, so by that case, so you now move in Bali, right?
Yeah, so I've been living in Bali for 3 years, for 3 months. And I'm going to be staying here for at least a few years. That's my plan. So my work contract is for another, 9 months. So I'll be here for 1 year minimum. And then after that, I'll renew my work contract and stay for a few years here. Yeah.
Nice to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so besides of the like yoga things, or now you're doing a breathwork and the life in here, what makes Bali attract you the most? Like I really haven't find anything like this in any other place like that.
Thank you. I'm attracted to Bali for so many different reasons. Overall, it's lifestyle. For me, the combination of the way that I can work here and live here is so appealing. So one of the big factors for me is the weather. I love the warm weather year round, the consistency. Of course, rainy season is nice that we get some rain as well, but I love it. It feels really good for my body. I also made a commitment to live in greater harmony with nature. So living here in Bali, of course, my carbon footprint personally is reduced. So I use less electricity, I'm closer to my food sources. I love the ocean. And so I made a commitment to live near the ocean and to surf and get to play. So my work day looks really great. My whole lifestyle is great. I can get up at 6 a.m. and go for a surf. I can have breakfast out. The food scene is amazing. There's great chefs, there's great restaurants. So I can go out for a really beautiful breakfast. It's very affordable. I can work in a really great clinic space all day and then finish and catch up with friends or spend some time with family. And so that feels really good just in terms of the lifestyle here. And also the culture. I love connecting more with the culture. There's a mysticism to the Hindu religion that I love, connecting to the unseen forces and to the spirits of this island. And so the whole of Bali has a continuous ceremony. And I love this idea that we're always in ceremony. Life is a ceremony, life is ritual. And so when I see it in the street and I smell the incense and I see the people celebrating their connection to the unmanifested, it kind of permeates into my own life. And that feels really good.
Something that we can learn from the local here.
Yeah, always, yeah.
Okay. And what is the good thing of Bali? Maybe can I ask about breathwork? Is it a business you run here, or maybe it's just like a community, or just like an activity like that?
Yeah, thank you.
What kind of?
So I love to share breathwork. It's been such a huge gift in my life. It's changed the way that I live. It's changed the way that I see the world. And so it's my passion and mission to share it with other people. And it's been great to come to Bali. There's been quite a good breathwork scene here in Bali. And so when I arrived here, I connected with a few of the practitioners who were already working here. And you know, we started to cultivate some friendships. So there's a nice community of people who are really interested in breathwork. And breathwork's pretty new, in as much as how popular it's becoming in the West. It's an ancient tradition, 3,000 to 5,000 year old Indian, yogic, tantric, and also Chinese traditions of breathwork have been documented and present. But the style that we're practicing is it's designed to meet in the people who are more interested in it right now. Seem to be digital nomads, the people living here in Canggu, people who are CEOs, athletes, and people who are traveling and having downtime, and also people that have come here to Bali to heal. A lot of people they've seen films like Eat, Pray, Love, and they think like Bali's all about this spiritual journey or coming here to heal. So there are a lot of people who are coming here and seeking healing. So it's an amazing place for me to work because I'm providing this really deep, profound healing modality of breathwork in this beautiful tropical paradise, and it works really well. Yeah.
Let's say the Breathwork Bali is like a community, right?
Yes.
So what makes you suitable doing what you do here in Bali, like breathwork, a little bit, if it's connected to your personality or something like that?
Thank you. So one of the reasons that I love living in Bali and doing breathwork here is because the whole lifestyle and the general environment lends itself to healing. A lot of the food is incredibly healthy. People are really open to the modality, and they're open to trying new things and exploring. When people are traveling, they want to try different things. And breathwork's kind of different. It's not as mainstream as other healing modalities. For me personally, I love to speak on it, and part of my joy and passion is to share it. So I love giving talks, and the community seems to be really welcoming. Every time I give a talk, I do it for free. And so I'll offer a free talk and maybe 35 or 40 people will turn up just because they're interested. And then we have a really beautiful evening. We spend maybe 2 hours talking about the technique and how we can share it and how it benefits the health. And so I find that people have a natural curiosity here, either because they're traveling or they've chosen to live here. The people that are in Bali that have chosen to live here, from my perspective, they seem to be very open-minded and adventurous. So there's a combination that, like, my passion and skill set and the way that I like to speak and the way that I like to practice works really well with the people who are living and visiting here.
What makes you feel like I really like to do breathwork? Maybe the first, like, I don't know how you find it, breathwork like that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So I was actually on my own healing journey, and I was trying a variety of different modalities to see what would help me manage my life, what would help me manage my emotional responses. And I had gone through some challenging times, and so I was seeking some more support and answers. And I went to a workshop that was for breathwork, and I had no idea what I was going to and what I was getting myself into. And I ended up practicing this style of breathwork that I now teach called conscious connected breathing, and it totally changed my life. In that one moment, I recognized that for me, this was the answer on how I could regulate my emotional health and balance my body, my mind, my emotions, and my spirit. And it was such a profound experience, just this 1 2-hour workshop, that I decided to train in the modality. So I trained with that gentleman who ran the workshop. I trained with him, and he became my teacher. And we started to then work together and teach together. And I then decided that, at the time I was teaching and training in Canada, and I decided that it would be beneficial for me to move to Bali and to live in a tropical paradise and continue to share these teachings.
So it all starts from like, I want to heal, get a self-healing, and now you're doing what you're doing now.
Thank you. Yeah, for me, it was about my own path and my own journey. That's what came first. Like, I needed to help myself. And as I continued to journey in that way, I recognized as I helped myself, I learned that I was able to help other people. And so, of course, that journey continues for me. One of the other great things about living here in Bali is an opportunity to connect to other healers and other modalities and do exchanges. And so I've been exploring some more hypnotherapy and some theta healing and Reiki while I've been here. And I'm always interested to work with other practitioners and to collaborate in that way. I just really met a really interesting body worker, and there's so many amazing Balinese massage practitioners who are here. And so I've been connecting with them, and we've been doing some work in exchange. And that helps me to stay fit and healthy so that I can show up and support other people as well in their journeys.
Okay, so how big is the change between you before and you're now afterwards?
So, yeah, thank you so much. So before I discovered breathwork, I was definitely on a path to healing, and I was doing a lot of meditation, and I was eating well, but I hadn't really discovered the power of releasing unprocessed emotion. And so I was still struggling. And whilst I was practicing yoga and I thought I was doing everything right, it was still a challenge in my life to live with steadiness and ease. And then I would say, like, it was pivotal. Like, when I discovered breathwork, after one session it was amazing, but as I've stayed true to this path, in 1 or 2 years the transformation has been so rapid, and now it's easy to say, like, my dreams are really coming true. I have a beautiful lifestyle here, and I do what I love for work, and I'm supported with amazing community, and it's been really profound. Yeah.
Well, nice to hear. I want to know about what you do when you are not working, or maybe you go to get some other place, like you say you like surfing or like that. Where did you go? What you do? Maybe you have pets or
Thank you.
anything else?
Yeah. So in my time off, I like to adventure. So for me, I always examine, like, the balance in life. When I work 4 days a week, and I work in clinic, and it's in Canggu, and it's the same, and it's structured. And so it's quite rigid. So on the other side, I have 3 days off. And it's nice because I have all of this stability and this known. I like to have instability and unknown. So for me, we need both in life. And so on my days off, it's really fun to put my surfboard on my surfboard rack on the side of my scooter and just get on my scooter and just drive. And so I drive off with just like Google Maps and a destination in mind, and I'll start to explore. And so my weekend that I just had, I got up and on Sunday morning, which is my first day off, I got up and I just drove off. And I found myself 2 hours later, I was on a boat going into the ocean to go surfing on this wave that I'd never heard of before. And I find myself then surfing this wave with a few other people in the middle of this little area of Bali that I'd never heard of before. And then I spent the next 3 days just exploring the coastline, connecting to the ocean and meeting people and sharing stories of where they've been, finding out some other places I might like to visit. So for me, it's really about listening. It's like, if I've had that steadiness in clinic and I want to change, I go out and explore. Also, some days I just want to really, like, rest and chill, and so I might just spend some time at the beach here in Brawa. I might visit some friends in Canggu. The community here is amazing. And one other thing I love to do is I love to work with hot and cold therapy. So I usually go to the spa here in Batu Belong. There's a great spa, and I go here and I practice hot and cold therapy. So I go in the sauna, and then I go in the cold plunge, and I rotate between those two. I find that really beneficial for my health. So for me, on my days off, it may be a big adventure, or it may be just chilling out, having some great food with friends and catching up with people, going to the beach and surfing, of course, and just some adventures.
Nice. So you just follow, I don't know what you do, but I know exactly what I'm doing like that. Yeah. Alright, and then, okay. What things about Bali that makes you really love the most? Maybe like you have a favorite place here, like, yeah, you don't want to go anywhere else. I like this place. Like, what is the place in Bali connected to? Maybe you have some memories or connected to you like that.
So for me, what I love about Bali right now is, again, the contrasts. So for me, Canggu provides this bustling, vibrant, almost like beach town. There's a surfer element to it, there are all of these digital nomads, there's people who are building businesses here, and they're integrated really beautifully into the local ways as well. And so it's busy, and there's a lot of energy and vibrancy and bustle. And so on the other hand, what I love about Bali is driving like just only 30 minutes out of town and finding just rice paddies and tranquility and peace. So for me, a lot of the beauty in life comes from contrasts. Some favorite places of mine, I love going up the coast to Balian. And Balian's just a beautiful little smaller town, fishing communities, some great surfing there. It's quiet. There's just one little street and the beach, and that is all. And so when I'm in Canggu and it's bustling and vibrant and there's lots of scooter traffic and noise, I love that stimulation. But I also love just like turning everything down and going inside and just going to the beach and just being relaxed. Going to the simple night market where there are just like some stands of street food, amazing quality, family run, none of the, the big beach culture and the scene, none of the fancy cocktails. It's a coconut and some nasi goreng, and it's just very simple. So for me, I love the complication and the simplicity. And those contrasts, I think, are present everywhere in Bali. Another great opportunity is to ride into the mountains and inland. And the island is so vibrant and different with its ecosystems. We have the ocean. We have the ocean with rainy season. We have the ocean with dry season and the differences. And then we also have the mountains and the microclimates of, the rice paddies and the terraces and the forest and the nature. So for me, it's a land with a lot of different environments that we can explore. And it's all really close. It's all really accessible. And a scooter makes everything so easy.
I agree. And now you're doing breathwork, right? So now we all know about breathwork, and based on what you do right now, doing that, what do you expect about Bali? What is your hope about Bali in the next future, based on what you're doing now?
Thank
for
you.
Community maybe, or for people like that.
Thank you. Yeah, breathwork's a really powerful modality for us to connect to ourselves, and it also allows us to connect deeper to each other and to the unseen. And so for me, it's really important to deepen everyone's connection with themselves and with environment. For me, it's really important that we recognize that we have a need right now as humanity to live in greater connection to the planet. And so this is really present in Bali as well. We have a really strong tourist industry. We have a lot of visitors coming here. And it's my hope that we can be more conscious and aware of the way we're relating to the planet. As a surfer, this is really evident for me with plastics and plastic in the ocean. And every time we're using something that's a single-use plastic and it's discarded, it's going to find its way back into Mother Earth, back into the ocean and the stream. So my prayer is that as I continue on this path of sharing breathwork, people continue to develop a greater awareness of themselves and of their relationship to the planet. And if we can do that, and we can all do that, we can start to live in greater harmony and balance with more reverence and respect for this beautiful place that we live. And so I'm going to start some collaborations with a variety of different charities and organizations so that the breathwork that we're doing can actually start to raise money for protecting and for deepening our respect. One of the organizations I'm continuing to partner with is called Ecstatic Ocean, and the prayer of Ecstatic Ocean is that the oceans become ecstatic and vibrant again, and their mission is to connect to local communities and get all of the plastic that's inland collected, and they actually turn it into artwork. So they recycle and press it into reusable bowls that are multi-use. And so they take an otherwise discarded item, they give it a value, they get the locals collecting it, and then they turn it into something that gets sold to create more revenue for their project. So this is a beautiful vision. I'll start to run some workshops that are going to support them financially and also to raise the level of awareness for their project so that we can help to support and clean up the oceans so that we can continue to surf and so that the generations that are still to come can continue to surf and enjoy the ocean and the fish and all of the livelihood it provides for island people.
amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't believe it. Alright, now I would like to ask about what is your hope for Bali for future, like from the development, like some kind of that.
Thank you. Yeah. Bali for me is such a beautiful island, and it has so much natural beauty, and there's a natural wisdom of tradition that's so connected to the land. Building with bamboo and building with wood and sustainable materials, and using sustainable materials in packaging and delivering is so important. So for me, it's a hope that as a collective we can all start to wake up to the impact that we're having, and we can start to tread a little lighter. We can start to think about each one of our actions and what impact it's having on the island and the community, and how we can support and live in a more sustainable way. So we're recognizing that we're not separate from nature, that we're actually part of it. We're not separate from the island, we are part of the island. We're part of its ecosystem. So how am I interacting with it, and how do I start to operate with more reverence and respect for the island? And so it's my hope that Bali can continue to flourish with tourism, and we can continue to do that in a much more sustainable way, so that when a visitor comes to Bali, they experience what it's like to live with a lower carbon footprint and more in harmony with nature, and they recognize that we can live in a more sustainable way, so that when they go home, they start to take some of those initiatives with them as well. So in this way, Bali can become a place of education. We can actually show that this island is living in vibrancy and harmony, in total abundance, and we're all living in a really happy, friendly way, interacting with different cultures and languages and nationalities, and that we all coexist in a harmonious way, supporting each other.
That's good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mean like people could know that Bali is, we are sustainable, we are eco-friendly, but we're still modern.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and how do we have an opportunity to use technology in such a way where it's fully integrated into nature. And we have so many great advances that are coming forward right now, using solar power, and also taking anything that's a single-use item and reusing it again. These are such amazing modern ways to recognize that nothing is like a linear line. It doesn't we don't have create something and it goes and then becomes something else. It's everything is a circle, everything is a loop. And so for me, when we move out of a Western tradition and we move more into the spiritual traditions, and we recognize that energy turns into matter and then back into energy again. This is the nature and the way of spirit and matter. And it was present with great thinkers like Einstein, with E equals mc squared. For me, that's the same foundation of the religious practices of Hinduism. So when I'm surrounded by these ceremonies of offering up and celebrating and giving thanks for the water and giving thanks for the food, we recognize that we're related to it. So that can be brought into a modern context, and we can start to use technology to integrate those old spiritual traditions with modern technology to live in a really vibrant way that's actually relevant for 2020.
No, well, thank you.
That's perfect. That's fine. Yeah, it was rolling so well.